I'm CLEJAN, a trap violinist, songwriter, and producer. I'm here with musicdistrict.io, discovering new music and pioneering music's future in Web3, one broadcast at a time.
Ladies and gentlemen, I bring you Artist Spotlight! Oh, I'm dizzy with excitement. Dizzy. This month, Artist Spotlight, we are thrilled to introduce you to truly one-of-a-kind talent, CLEJAN, hailing from Atlanta, Georgia. He masterfully blends this gritty vibe of trap music with refined sounds of his classical violin. What? One of his latest albums, On My Way, showcases this unique fusion that not only honors his roots, but also sets new boundaries in the music scene in Web3. As a classically trained violinist and passionate storyteller, Zach's performances are more than just concerts. They're immersive experiences, and with each bow stroke of his violin, he draws us into his world, where classical melodies dance with hard-hitting trap beats, creating a soundtrack that resonates with this ever-growing audience. Inspired by the likes of Lindsey Sterling, Zach doesn't just play music. He crafts a visual and auditory narrative that captivates. His innovative approach has not only elevated the genre of trap music, but it's also redefined what it means to be a performer in the digital age of Web3 music platforms. That's what we do! Month after month, all this talent's exciting! Who we have in our midst is the future of music. Zach is someone without a doubt that will be one of the biggest artists in the Web3 game. And because Web3 is relatively new, Zach has already arrived. It's Web3 music that needs to catch up with the talents and energy of some of these amazing artists. I am super excited, if you can't tell, about meeting and speaking with Zach, a absolutely extraordinary talent. So join us in the Music District for this Artist Spotlight. Yeah, I've been jumping in on your TikTok, listening to a lot of your music. I enjoy listening to you, man, and I love the energy. Real quick, so let's just start from the beginning. Our whole thing is to promote you. You're Web3, you're decentralized. We want to promote, support you, get people to learn about you outside of the platform that you traditionally promote yourself on. So you'll see for the folks at home, which they don't see here because a lot of this will be a podcast on radio. They could visit musicdistrict.io and they could see this beautiful set that we built. You are inside of a marquee, flashing lights, curtains, the whole thing. CLEJAN, why don't you introduce yourself to everybody around the world? Tell a little bit about yourself, and we're all ears, brother.
Man, thank you so much for having me, man.
Right on.
Appreciate y'all. Artists supporting artists, web industry supporting industry is important, and I thank you so much for having me here. Love your setup. Your brand, by the way, I was trying to say this is when I was meeting, I was like, bro, you look sick.
Yeah, man, I only put this tux on for the Artist Spotlights.
I love your aesthetic, man. That's great.
Yeah, man. Have you seen any of the old ones?
No, thank you for. No, I need to see them.
Oh yeah, check them out, man. We cover the best Web3 artists.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
I'm honored. Thank you.
No doubt, man. 100%. I believe you are. But we want to be a part of that push to help you push you further on.
I got chills right now, man. I sincerely thank you. Thank you so much. Seriously, it means a lot.
Yeah, man. I'm honored. I'm honored.
My name is CLEJAN. I was born in Boston, Massachusetts, raised in Atlanta, Georgia, trained in classical violin my whole life. I come from a family of musicians. My mom was part of that generation that was just like kind of pushing their kids to do music. And I was like forced to play violin from the age of 3. I didn't have a choice. It was like a chore I had to do every day, and I grew up not loving the instrument, which was tough. But what I did fall in love with in Atlanta is hip hop. It was all we would listen to. It was all we would talk about. It just became like a big passion of mine. And then I started to write raps to kind of express some of the trauma I was going through at home with some other things in my personal life. But hip hop was there for me, and it gave me a voice like when I felt like I didn't have one. And so I knew it was something I wanted to do for the rest of my life. But anyways, I got a business degree. I put the music aside. I was like, let's go to college. Let's get some tools under our belt that we can maybe use later on, and at least give us a solid basis to stand on while we figure things out. So I got a marketing degree, I got an international business degree, and a minor in digital marketing and Chinese language and literature. Again, my mom forced me to take Chinese. I moved out to LA, worked corporate a few years, and then saw this lane to get back into music, to do something unique. And I saw what Lindsey Sterling did. I don't know who Lindsey Sterling is.
Yeah, I looked her up, and I see that you did some things with her as well on tour.
Man, I still can't believe it. But yeah, she's the Beyonce of the violin world. That's how I describe it. Yeah, so I saw what she did. She basically did it she's like the biggest violin artist in the world because she dances and plays violin to like modern pop production music and like EM music. And so she's doing something no one's done before, and she's doing it in a really unique way and doing it massively well. And I just saw that and I was like, okay, I think I can do that for hip hop and violin. I think like people have touched on hip hop violin, but no one's ever like gone into really like rapping and playing violin and like doing it focused around trap music, which is like what trap music is, a subgenre of hip hop. If anyone doesn't know, it's such like a genre of hip hop birthed in Atlanta and some other cities. That lane, I was like, let's go for it. And I started making music, and pandemic came, didn't have my job anymore. And I was able to just like hone in and just like learn how to create songs A to Z, like and be an independent artist A to Z. And then did a lot of that, started bringing up my catalog, making as much music as I could, TikTok, started posting them there. You're
killing it on TikTok. Before we get to TikTok, I had a quick question. I understand that starting from when you were a kid, right? Like, I think I read something along the lines of your father played the fiddle, and so did your grandmother.
Yeah, my dad played the violin. My grandfather was a concert pianist, and my great grandmother was another violinist in Austria.
Did you ever have a chance to play with them both?
I did. I actually, one of my music videos called Focus, there's a clip of me playing with my dad and my grandfather. So yeah, growing up, we got to play together. That was cool.
Right. So high school orchestra kid from Atlanta. Now you are out in LA?
Now I'm out in LA, man. After I graduated school, I got an opportunity to do a business internship out here. And this had always been like a dream destination for me with like my music career. I was like, man, maybe I'll go out to LA someday and pursue this thing for real. And then the business led me there. I didn't even have to look for it. It led me there. And then moved out here for a summer, fell in love with California. And went back to school for a victory lap semester, and then moved out to LA full time to figure it out. And we've been here 8 years.
Wow, man. Good for you. You made the leap.
Made the leap, bro. And it was the best thing I've ever done, for sure.
Situation is, it's scary for anybody looking to make that leap into independence. And so if there's something that we could project and put out there into the world, is just go for that. Go where the energy is, I think. I mean, like you said, and once you do that, I find synchronicity kind of starts to hit you in ways that it's never hit me before. The artist that I'm going to spotlight, I don't worry about it. I know that artist will come to me somehow in some way, whether it's through a TikTok. I call it that whole red Corvette effect. Have you ever heard of that?
No. And then I'll tell you about the green light effect.
All right. You first. I got to hear the green light.
Well, the green light coined by Matthew McConaughey, and it's been told in other phrases before, but it's just the sense that if you are experiencing a lot of green lights, like synchronicity, like things are happening well as they should, like keep doing that, like keep pushing into that. Red lights, you kind of like, if things like aren't working consistently, like that's maybe something you should readdress and redefine. And and then yellow lights and stuff. But green, if you see green lights, like those are things you want to follow.
Yeah,
green lights. And if you're in tune with what you're doing in the universe, like you're gonna see green lights. What's the Corvette effect?
Yeah, well, on the green light, even when the light's green, sometimes it does turn red, and I find that no matter how dedicated you are to the craft, it needs space. You need to walk away from it, give it space.
That's important too. Burnout's a real damn thing.
You could turn those red lights into greens. I had gone on a meeting. Somebody's like, Rollo, how many red Corvettes did you see on your way here? And I'm like, what? Goes, I'll give you $100 for every red Corvette you saw. And I said, I didn't see any red Corvettes. He's like, well, tomorrow, if we were to meet for lunch, how many red Corvettes do you think you would see on your way here? Now, the funny thing is, I'm telling my son in the car this story. As I'm telling him this story, we get cut off by a red Corvette.
Crazy.
It was epic. I should call him in here, get him to like vouch for me, because it was just out of this world. Now, the reality of, I think the perspective of which he was helping me become more aware of is that, like red Corvettes, opportunity is all around us, and you just have to be open to it and aware of them. Those green lights are always on, because of you're always recognizing those red Corvettes along the way. You're not sleeping through thoughts and missing those opportunities. Yeah. So talk to me about, let's just jump right into it, because I'm really excited to hear your thoughts on this whole Web3 thing, man. We're real early, and I want to have like an interesting conversation, and a lot of this conversation is not going to be based on something of other conversations that I've had in other Artist Spotlight interviews. But so this is a new question, and the integration of like this whole blockchain technology, decentralization platform, it's influencing not only the distribution of how artists are distributing their music, but it's really also changing the very essence of not only artistic expression, right, and the relationship between artists and the audience, but what I also think it's changing is what we understand a fan to be.
I love this question.
Everybody hates record labels. Everybody hates them. I don't. The reason why is because artists took the shortcut. What they did is they bought themselves a following, and they basically bought themselves out of a community. And so when you buy a following, it's not the same as a community. And so it's the essence of your tribe, right, is essentially black and white from what your following would be versus what the community is for you in Web3. So as much as we're redefining who we are as artists, I think fans are now starting to redefine who they are in this grand scheme of this ownership. It's such an interesting, beautiful evolution of it all, but it's really taking on this whole new dimension. Now, you've been obviously in Web 2. What would you say your relationships were with your fans in Web 2 versus what your community is now in Web 3? Have you experienced a little bit of a shift in relationships with your fans jumping over to Web 3?
It's an interesting question. And I like that you brought up fanship, because I do think that what the essence of what that has been and what it is now and what it's going to be is shifting. And I think Web3 does a really good job at spotlighting that in its ability to connect you and have them feel ownership in a way that's one-on-one. That's what I think the future of fanship is one-on-one interaction, one-on-one connection. And so Web2 does an amazing job at that. And the thing is, for Web2 doesn't do a terrible job at it either. There are some platforms that have made it better. So for me personally, like I still am finding my Web3 expanded community, because I brought my Web2 community over with me to Web3.
That's amazing.
That was one of my goals. That's like, obviously, like we as artists, and what we want as people in this industry, what we want to convert people from Web2 to Web3, or at least show them that there's a future there, which there absolutely is. And So for me, I brought my community over. So there, I got my squad who would never have gone to Web3 for another 10 years.
Wow.
Are over there with me and finding new ways to support me, that go beyond the ways that Web2 do. So that is nice. But there's still so much more that we can do to get it there. But yeah, as far as my community versus Web2 versus Web3, I come from a unique perspective that I brought my community, and anyone I've met in Web3 that I'm building this, I still am building a community here in Web3. I feel like outside of the community that I brought. So, but what I would say is the difference is that they're just more spread out across the world. I mean, it's just more like, yeah, like I feel like it's just a way easier way to connect with people who are outside of your normal realm of life. Like most of my community on Web2 and that I brought to Web3 is American-based for people I found on TikTok. Not that TikTok is just America, but it focuses that it shows most of your stuff to your area. But Web3, just the accessibility of everybody from all over the world to be able to tap in and connect.
Yeah, I believe that. I believe technology is playing such a tremendous role in cultivating and nurturing our communities. Hence the use of TikTok, which wasn't around not too long ago, but the emerging of that tech now allows us to connect with our community in a way that's never been done before, establishing those deeper relationships. Having to onboard your Web2 fam, that's amazing. Honestly, kudos, bro. There's not a lot of people that I've spoken to in Web3 that has been able to do that. The question is, have you had some sort of NFT release or anything along those lines of selling your music? You want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, I'd love to. So I started releasing music NFTs on Sound XYZ last year. We sold out our first 4 releases on the same day of the release, which was cool. And then this last release, I still have some NFTs available.
I'm going to buy one.
I would be honored. If you bought one.
Without a doubt. I promise I will. That's my word.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, I mean, hopefully the plan is to make it very valuable for you someday. So I hope you do. I have my next release this Friday. So
awesome. Do you have a music video with that?
This release? Or just in general?
No, this release.
What am I releasing next? I have a music video out for the song. Yeah.
Send it.
Yeah.
You're gonna be super excited, and I hope the people watching are as excited to experience this as we are together. Now, so how long you been in Web3 now? 2-3 years?
Dude, so I put my foot in last year. I mean, it's been about a full year in Web3.
Okay.
Maybe a little over. So that was like I'd always been, it's been on my radar for years before that. But last year was really like my intention for 2023 to like dive in as much as possible and really like do what I can to push the industry and push the art over there. And so yeah, the whole past year has been amazing in that sense, man. It's just been what a warm welcome, people like you seeing me and stuff. It's been incredible community.
Yeah, man. I mean, look, for a lot of the artists and fans and who are listening around the world, being in Web3 for a year, what kind of challenges have you faced in integrating into Web3 that you found daunting to begin with? Then maybe after you learned how to do it, it might have not have been as daunting as you thought, or any sort of hints or direction to inspire those listening to get into Web3.
So for me, I was definitely nervous to like release my first music NFTs for a few reasons. Had no idea really about like the specific tech behind it and the deal with contracts and smart contracts and the deal with like people are saying you're supposed to sell out really fast and
expectations, they'll kill you.
And all these, and people, there's going to be reasons to be hesitant to take that risk. But what I found was that we're still in such an early stage in this, like, and even if we weren't, like, release your art. That's what I tell people. Just release your art. You make it, you market it, your audience will find you. You will find your tribe. But don't hide your art away. Don't be afraid to put it out there in different means. It's detach yourself kind of from the end result. A lot of artists talk about this. Just detaching themselves from not the end result, but just detaching themselves from the results along the way. Like, don't just put your stuff out there. That's the biggest thing I could say. Like, and figure it out. Like, put your stuff out there and do it a little better the next time.
Yeah.
For anyone thinking about like coming into Web3, like, there are platforms that make it accessible. Like, it's still early. Like, you're gonna find some tech that makes it not as accessible, but they're out there. Look for them, talk to people, and just, if you are interested in it, go get into it, figure it out. Like, and if you're not interested in it, you should be interested in it, because it's gonna change the world.
I think you nailed it. Like, there's so much less to lose because of the transparency and fairness of the blockchain. Right. Have you been able to navigate some of the complexities of monetization with maybe a collaboration you did, and how you executed somewhat of a contract to have that transparency of that collaboration on the blockchain?
Yeah, so me and the boys went to Vegas for a Breathe convention. We ended up like spending like half a day in the hotel room. Someone brought their music equipment, and we just like all popped in there and did a cipher for like 8 hours. It was fire. We're all rappers in Web3, and we made the beat on the spot with the violin, and we all just took turns spitting, and we ended up like releasing on the blockchain. The splits, this is how it's gonna work. Here's the details. You're in, and we're in, and it was seamless. We were we don't know, but we like to joke and say that we were one of the first rap ciphers in Web3, like to release. So
that's great. What is that? And what is the name of that?
I don't. Off the Strip. Yeah, it's Off the Strip.
Off the Strip. Okay, cool.
It would in Web2 to like, I don't know, to like get all of these things right, all the splits and everything. Like, it would have been way more complicated. Web3 was just very seamless. So like, hopefully we do see more collabs like that, and it just fosters like more art, which would be.
And what platform did you use to do those splits?
Sound. I think we did everything through Sound.
Sound does that too? See, I use one of.
No.
Yeah, one of. I use one of. The gas is low. I mean, if this gas gets any higher, I mean, we're going to go back to USD and just back to digital MP3s. But it's just unfair to the community of fans that are supporting you to be charged like $15-20 for gas. There's platforms, obviously it started with, like, for me, my understanding, like Polygon had like less gas fees, but then there's other platforms that don't charge fees at all. So one of the platforms, I actually released a song not too long ago. I'm a writer, a ghostwriter, and I released my first one. Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, but it's fine. I'll send it to you. You'll hear it. Yeah. So One Of is one of the platforms that I released my music on. I don't really consider myself an artist where I want to become a bigger one. I just want to be able to express myself. I want to be able to put my words down to a beat. Yeah. I'm so happy in my life right now. I'm thankful for all of that, and I'm not chasing anything. I'm just in a place of creativity and expression, and it feels beautiful, bro.
Keep pushing that. If it feels that way for you, man, you keep lean into that.
That's the energy I want to come and I want to share with people, even through this conversation. I want to share that energy and that vibe to invigorate and even resuscitate some of the people who might need a little bit of that positivity in their life. What kind of Web3 platforms do you foster community to engage with fans beyond the traditional social platforms right now? Are you outside of Sound XYZ? Are you on like any sort of like spatial, Decentraland? I guess X would be a Web3 platform, which you are active on. TikTok, which absolutely incredible. You're approaching 1 million followers. Let's just jump. Yo, 1 million followers. Now, this is really interesting because I think there's a lot of artists who I find the psychology very interesting on all Web 2, Web 3, and life itself, right? We think in boxes, right? We live in a house that's shaped like a box. We eat at kitchen tables that are shaped like a rectangle. We sleep in a bed that's a square. We go to a cubicle where we work all day on a train that's shaped like a box. And so people are very boxed in. I see a lot of people really not thinking outside of the box or really extending themselves outside of their comfort zones, to which there could be a great more level of success for them. Right? I've been doing this now for about 2.5 years. And in the beginning, I was metaversical, I guess. I jumped from Decentraland to spatial to meta to Infiniverse. I was all over these platforms. And what I did realize is that there was no cross-pollination. It was Yankees versus Mets. Decentraland's Decentraland people, communities, spatial community, the Infiniverse, the VR. People got comfortable on a platform, and there was very little crossover. When you are able to... right. It can't be. Well, right. So, but here we are in Web 3, and that psychology is still very, very present in that box thinking, whether you are on Sound XYZ. People don't like... I mean, what are your reasons why you wouldn't release a particular NFT on multiple platforms and you would choose just one? I'm curious to know.
Yeah. I'm definitely, and I'm open, and I have released music on other platforms. It's already too much going on.
Yeah.
Just releasing on one platform is enough, like, to figure out, like, I don't need to, like, and it adds extra steps for the fans too. Well, but it also gives new fans in that platform the opportunity to get that in their thing. But it's just like, for me, like, I'm waiting until they all do connect. I don't know, because I think that's the future. I'd like to think that I see what you're saying, that like we are getting that psychology already here in Web3, but I mean, like, man, I don't know. Part of the reason why I believe in it so much is because I think it's going to connect everything. So like I gotta have faith that we figure it the fuck out.
Yeah.
And in the meantime, I'm just gonna focus on what I can control and what's going well for me, and I also like Sound. Their UI UX has been the best for me. There's arguments for both ways to do it. There's like most things, there's no like real right or wrong way.
You're right. They call it the blockchain, and it's in the word itself that you hope at some point we are all connected.
That's what we're doing. I thought that's what we're doing.
Yeah, but the humanity of it's going to play a way bigger role than the corporate, right? It's decentralized. I mean, I think there has to be more people talking about how important of a role we play inside of this Web3, because there are no corporations here that are going to run this world. inside of Web3. It's gonna be us. You know? So we need to have this awareness and this presentness of mind to know that we have to keep driving forward the blockchain. Right? So at some point, we are all essentially connected as one, as in life itself. It is a lot. The tech, the platforms, but I think mental health is an important aspect of success. How do you prioritize your self-care amidst your busy schedule?
Yeah, it's a good question. Was giving myself like a day a week or a day every 2 weeks to just like prioritize that and just do things I love that aren't work, and just relaxing and being in nature, just like putting emphasis on that. So just like as much as you schedule out the rest of your life, schedule in mental health time. And like that's why I'm sighing and stuff, is because that shit is not easy to fucking maintain. Like you want to like, it should be, because it's you're not even, you can do whatever you want, but it's like there's always going to be something to do. There's always going to be work to be done. There's always going to be a way to keep pushing what you're trying to do. But sometimes, like you said, like it is best to that it will help you push yourself further by giving yourself that space and treating your health like it should be treated, a priority. When you need it, take the time, take the space, and even if you don't need it, you probably do. And so just like prioritize it, like just push it.
I would think a lot of people in Web3 struggle with it. I put screen time on my iPhone and I deleted it like within a month in. I just couldn't see those numbers anymore. I was just like, Jesus Christ. But I hear you. I think, and to that point, again, it's creating that space between what it is you love. Like anything else, even like in relationships, you got to give each other space and respect, and it eventually evolves in the most beautiful way. But that's a big point. Give yourself space. There's no rush here. If you're destined to do and be whatever it is you're destined to be, who it is you are, then all your energy and attention should be focused on your health. The fact that you are involved in giving back to the community a whole lot.
I definitely, when I can, it's something I love to do.
Yeah, could we talk a little bit about that and why that sort of organizations and communities that you attach yourself to are so important? So we could bring a little bit of attention to that as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, for example, this is how I incorporated with Web3. I put like in the contract, like if you all half these proceeds, then like that's gonna be continuous, like now, which is great. Is going to this nonprofit called Partnership for Domestic Violence in Atlanta, Georgia, which is where I'm from. And it was not only important to me, but also to like, this was actually a nonprofit suggested by one of my fans. I got to ask them what they feel are important to them, like in my Discord. And this was one of the options that resonated with them and with me. Some of the troubles I mentioned growing up, that the trauma I experienced that helped me want to write raps. Like I experienced domestic violence in my home growing up. And so this community, this nonprofit helps address that and find safe havens for people who are experiencing that and give them the help that they need. So, and we raised like $500 on Christmas to give to that organization to help them. And that's through the music NFT sale. So it's anytime it just seemed like I said, if I can, I want to. So it's Christmas, I'm releasing NFTs. It seemed like a good opportunity to help people and also push Web3.
What's the name of the foundation?
Partnership Against Domestic Violence.
Out and get some people to donate that. That'll be on musicdistrict.io. So those people listening at home, they could jump on that website and make a donation to that beautiful cause. I mean, I love it. I love it. Beyond music, because I know a lot of what we talk about is really all around about music, but what are some of the other passions and hobbies you have that are driving you? Because, I mean, there's a lot of energy, man, that you bring to that stage. Like, it's electric fun. I mean, it's electric, bro. You don't see it often. I firmly believe in you. 100% believe in you.
Thank you, brother.
You know,
Thank you. I have so much I want to do with my production value for performances. Like I'm excited you can see the energy now because like I'm about to 10x it if I can. Like,
all right, let's go.
I'm about to go on my first tour and just like I'm just trying to see where this evolves. Like I want high production value for my stage performances, and I want to collab and bring in a bunch of other artists, and I want an orchestra behind me. Like so, like it's. I appreciate you seeing the vision. Yeah, right. Like at least the quartet. To be honest, bro, like what really drives me to like do everything I'm doing and just like push myself so much is just a promise I made to myself as a kid, man. Like when I was just going through some of the stuff, like it kept me alive, promising myself that like I would make everything I experienced worth it. I'd make like my adult life as dope as I possibly could. So like that promise to myself is really like what drives me on the inside, and just like to my inner child, just like I'm gonna really go for it. Like, and that's also just partnering with my beliefs of like if you're gonna do something, like really do it. Like go all if you want to, like if you really want it, like go in 100% if you can. You feel me? Like push for it. So I want to see where the ceiling is on this thing. I'm so curious. When I started rap violin, I was like, okay, like maybe I'll get some fans. Maybe I'll get a little fans. I don't know. Maybe people will fuck with it.
There's an artist who I know, Sammy Arriaga.
Yeah, shout out Sammy. Love Sammy.
So he always says that his father basically said, why don't you just do keep to your roots and do a Spanish translation of some of these popular songs.
Yeah.
And he ended up doing that on TikTok.
Blew up.
It blew up.
That was his dad's idea. I didn't know that. That's dope.
Yeah, it was his dad's idea. And I just was just I just saw him in New York during NFT NYC. And he also said something about and I sat there in the audience listening, and I was by myself, but I saw a bunch of people who I knew, which was awesome. But he's like, if you believe in something and you're good at something, or you're doing something different, right? Whether it's Spanish songs of popular renditions, trap, violin, you know what I'm saying? Or something even like the Music District, things that have never existed before. And you know it. And there's going to be good days. And this is for everybody with the talent and idea. There's going to be good days, and there's going to be even worse days. You know? But to know that every day you get a chance to make it just a little bit better. Don't give up. Keep going. And I think that's really the secret sauce of it, and not letting anything around you pull you down, which whether time or reactions or responses or viewership or whatever. I was having like a couple of weeks ago personal. I mean, I was just like, man, it's a lot of work. You know, we're not really getting the viewership. Last week we got 2,500 live viewers on one of our streams. Not a space, a stream. And I was just like, my God, like that was insane. Shout out to Pigeons of New York. We did a music thing for them, and it just absolutely was mind-boggling. Now, this comes from a week before that, where we hit 500, and it went literally from like 50 to 500 to 2,500 in less than 30 days. Just when I'm like, oh, God. And the thing is, you gotta just, you gotta be honest to yourself. You have to be honest to yourself. You can't, the way that it ends up being is, and the feeling that you are longing for will always be on a different timeline of any sort of reaction that you're expecting from something that you do in real time. And I think it's important to really keep focused, as much on yourself and what you're building and what you're doing, because what you're doing is absolutely fucking incredible, brother. It's going to be such a fun ride together, man. And we're here to support, anytime, we built an actual virtual performance stage, for the music district. So anytime you want to have a virtual concert, you want to post it up there, you want to offer your fans a deeper experience rather than a 2D on a Twitch, or even if you wanted to take a TikTok, you know, we could take your TikToks and I could take your, hold on a second. I could take your TikTok live streams. I can embed them inside of the music district, and we can include a link, right, for your followers and your fans to go in, where we could then have like your NFTs, your websites. We could have this huge screen, engagement, interaction, really taking it off of that 2D sort of realm, bringing it into that 3D and 4D realm. Yeah. Because the platform essentially that we are on, it's not the most popular. It's spatial. There's really not a lot of people on it. But I don't care. The reason why I'm on it is because it's most accessible. Mm-hmm. You can get through it on your mobile, you can get through it on your desktop, and you can get through it on your Oculus. There's not a lot of platforms that could do it. So shout out to Meta Mike. He's my world builder. He did a great job, man, with this thing. It's absolutely incredible. It's literally a district. There's buildings and apartments. We can do giveaways. I think we should do something like that. That could be a lot of fun. It would help me, and it would also help you as well.
I would love that. I mean, any chance to cross-pollinate Web 2, Web 3, any chance, we need to do it.
Yeah, no doubt. So just a few more questions. I know we got just a little bit while, but I'm going to wrap it up because I don't want to go longer than an hour, and it's been... See how fast this shit is?
You revive it.
Yeah, this is what it is, man. I love it. We do something here in the music district recently with my last interview with Emma Miller. Emma Miller?
I know that name.
She's beautiful. Piano. She's from Scotland. Beautiful. We did, that was our artist spotlight last month was with Emma. We put into place something where we ask an artist a recommendation of an artist that they would like to promote in Web3 that might not be as popular or known in the space, that could use a little bit of a support, and we would like to shout them out along inside of our broadcasting and inside of these artist spotlights on your behalf. Is there an artist that in Web3 that you would like to show some love and to promote and support?
Yeah, man, maybe that would be cool. A-Rob Music, man. A-Rob, Palestinian rapper. I made Look at Me Now with him. I made one of my hits with him. Super talented.
I wonder if I made you cry. Following dreams like your favorite content creator. I promised my mama I'll make it. That woman the queen. The grind of my father been embedded in me since I was a teen. Mashallah, I mean, that's what they say to me now. What you expect from the boy? I pop on their feed. They all wanna hate on me now. Why you disrespecting the boy? That's just confirmation that I'ma win. The beat getting beat up, I'm violent. I'm smooth like I'm C on the violin. I try, if I fail, I'ma try again. No denying it. I know I was built for this. I would die, I would kill for this. I showed them 1,000 times I'm about this life. I don't know how they still forget. Through the LA in the big C. Everything I do is big heat. Everything I do is mesquite. Making big moves, keep them discreet. 100 new connections this week. Making flips like a Misty. Eyes stacked up against me. Told them miss me. Mama, look at me now. I used to crash on the couch. Now I got cash in the bank. Look at me now. She didn't want me around. Now she begging me to stay. Look at me now. Nobody knew who I was. Now everyone screaming my name. Look at me now. I couldn't look at myself. Now I see the mirror and say, look at me now. Look at me now. Look at me now. Look at me now. I wonder if I made you proud.
Hey, Rob, you gonna be first to rock. Everybody got to select their beats. Torch, turn those other mics down, way down for me, way down. I only want A-Rob's mic to be heard, okay? DB, drop that beat on him.
Let's go, we here, baby. A-Rob, A.R.O.B.
12-4 on the track.
Y'all ready? Look.
Middle East, and from the east side of the United States. I walk in, rappers masquerade, they start to hide their face. On my own accord, I told Honda, never mind the brakes. Pedal to the metal, there's a dream that I've chased since I was like 16, rocking Miss Skeen. Now I got enough flow to make whiz clean. No big label, big budget, a big team. Still I get stream from Honolulu to Janine. The aim pristine, never shoot and miss. Money in stocks, I don't care for shoes and whips. Listen to him spit, how could you resist? Rap blew a kiss, I fell in love with the music biz. Now I make the whole world stand up, it's ludicrous. Who is this? That's what they all ask when they hear the ball spaz. The summer's on, tell them to fall back. On their head like a ball cap, cause they all cap. With that false rap, I ain't on that, I promise it's all fact. Never told a lie in the booth, that's why I'm the truth. No use denying the proof, I'm fly as a goose. Might head south for the winter, treat the devil like the professor. In and out my defender, I'm past due. I scarf down beats like fast food. I'm like a lonely fat dude on the couch eating dinner. It's A-Rob or A.R.O.B. Some of y'all know me. If you don't, I promise you're about to remember. I'm not done. I'm the nicest this year. We got different prices. A-Rob on all continents, platforms, and devices. Million rappers are out there. I promise they're nothing like this. A sure bet is I type this. A corset is my tightness. A purebred shepherd in the room full of lap dogs who only act hard on their laptops. Have friends since the blacktop. Did me like a phone that you trap off. Now they see me and cover up they face like a mascot. That's your ass fault. I'm on the road to greatness, switching cities like the Oakland Raiders. This ain't nothing, I'ma show you later, no debating. I've been a wizard, this shit since rolling papers. Independent, I don't own no labels, I don't own no favors. Who's that? Whipping a matte black Impala. Why would I load up all this diesel into a Honda? Breaking down trees, I got a room full of sawdust. Applaud us, you might not believe in the dream, but God does. What's up, Sway? What's up, RZA?
Hey, Rob, got busy.
Hey Rob, first to pitch. What you think, RZA?
Yeah. Sharp blade right there. Sharp blade.
So one of the last questions is if you could impart one piece of wisdom to your younger self and to maybe the younger ones out there, or maybe even the older ones who are looking to jump into Web3, looking to make this magic happen for themselves, what would it be?
Looking to get into Web3 specifically.
Well, not really. It could be as personal. I mean, look, this is a very personal question. So, for example, if I were to tell my younger self, and I've never asked myself this question, so I'm actually asking myself this question for the first time now. I would say, no matter how bad it gets, keep your head up.
Yeah.
Right? Because there's always not another day. It only takes just another moment to make it a brighter day.
Yeah. I love that.
It doesn't have to be another day. It could be just a perspective, a shift. And it's hard because as you evolve and as you get older, you just don't have it. Some people never get it. But that shift in perspective for me has changed my life.
Yeah.
I feel I've never been so more authentic to myself.
Yeah. I love that.
Yeah. And
in that same sense, my advice would be that to think outside of the box, to try to find ways to shift your perspective, and think outside the box, man. If I had told myself growing up that I could have played the violin in a different way that I loved, I would have had a completely different experience of 10,000 hours of my life hating every second growing up playing this instrument. You know, I just thought differently and be like, oh, why don't I tell my mom, like, I don't want to learn Tchaikovsky's symphony. I want to learn Eminem. I'm like, let me play some shit I love. I might have had a different experience. So perspective is everything. And just to piggyback off that, life comes in waves too, man. Like there's going to be ups, there's going to be downs, and there's beauty in both the ups and the downs. That one, there's not the other. So keep your head up, like you said.
Yeah, no doubt, man. I love it. I love that. Next month, it'll be on Alexa, Google, and Siri. So
cool.
Yeah, we're going to broadcast that out. It's going to be a lot of fun. And so for those people who are listening, again, you could go online, musicdistrict.io, see this actual video that's taken place that you guys are listening to.
Thank you for everything you're doing at Music District. Seriously, on behalf of artists, thank you.
Oh, my pleasure, my friend. And thank you so much. Nothing but positive vibes and good energy all around you. And I'm sure we'll be speaking soon again.
Thank you for the time as well.
No doubt, buddy. Peace and love. Stay positive.
I'm CLEJAN, a trap violinist, songwriter, and producer. I'm here with musicdistrict.io, discovering new music and pioneering music's future in Web3, one broadcast at a time.
Look, I'm in charge. Ain't tryna flex, I'm just here to set the bar. Don't take a rest, you look pressed, how bizarre. Thought you was pulling strings, but that ain't who you are. I'm in charge.
Thank you. I'm CLEJAN. Come say what up, yo. Yeah.